Welcome, my name is Tina, and in August 2021 our family bought 140 acres of land off the grid in the northern tablelands. We are currently camping in and around our shed and dream of building a more sustainable and peaceful life. And if you're already living off grid or dream of living off grid, hopefully you'll be able to learn from our successes and failures. Since spring has arrived, we've noticed lots of tree buds around and delicate flowers. Spring is the season in which the natural world revives and reinvigorates after the colder winter months. The once dormant grasses and plants begin to grow again. New seedlings sprout out of the ground and hibernating animals awake. We have these miniature snapdragon looking wildflowers. I'm not sure what they are, but they're so beautiful. And the kangaroos are all about. The air has lost its winter chill during the day, but it's still quite cool during the night. We've managed to mow a lot of the land around the little bridge down there, and we've staked some of our trees that we planted down there, which were also kind of getting eaten by the kangaroos, and they actually got mowed over as well. A lot of our tree protectors got blown away or knocked over by the sheep or the kangaroos, and half the plants have been eaten, but I tried to restore them so that they would survive. And the wildflowers are dancing all over the ground like little fairies. We went to visit the Truffle Discovery Centre, and we learnt a lot more about truffles and that sort of thing, but we also saw some alpacas that were there, and also a little echidna that was actually upsetting the alpacas. But echidnas are actually an animal descending from a platypus-like animal. The ancestor was aquatic, but the echidnas adapted to life on land, and they evolved between 20 and 50 million years ago. They live in Australia and New Guinea, and they eat mainly ants and termites, but they are not closely related to the true anteaters of the Americas. They are sometimes called spiny anteaters, and they are part of the only living mammals that lay eggs. And echidnas are named after Echidna, a creature from Greek mythology who was half woman, half snake, as the animal was perceived to have qualities of both mammals and reptiles. They are medium-sized solitary mammals covered with coarse hair and spines. The spines are modified hairs and are made of keratin, the same fibrous protein that makes up fur, claws, nails, and horn sheaths in animals. They look a lot like other spiny mammals such as hedgehogs and porcupines. You can see its elongated and slender snout pop out here. Surprisingly, echidnas are good swimmers as they evolved from platypus-like ancestors. So at the Truffle Discovery Centre, we got to taste lots of their different products, and we ended up purchasing truffle brie cheese and a truffle aioli, which we use as a dip here. And we also bought a tiny truffle itself, frozen, that we can grate and put on our scrambled eggs and things like that. I'll leave a link to the Truffle Discovery Centre in the description below. Our loquat tree has managed to survive the winter, which is great news. We have some brushtail possums living in this tree right beside our shed. We built a little platform for the possums in the tree. So we have some kangaroos down there by the creek that are getting all the new grass that we just mowed. Much of the smaller kangaroos are rare and endangered, while the large kangaroos are relatively plentiful. It's hard to believe, but kangaroos can get up to speeds of 70 kilometers per hour hopping over short distances. Kangaroos can actually disembowel other animals with their hind legs. And they can actually freeze the development of an embryo until the previous joey is able to leave the pouch. Here's our mum and baby possum. And the baby has got a bit freaked out and has hopped up the top of the tree. And the mum is still thinking about what she wants to do.
Brushtail possums are the most common possum in Australia, and they usually come out at night. They spend most of the daytime sleeping. They like to eat leaves, buds, flowers and fruits.
The baby decides to go up a bit higher.
Baby possums are called joeys like kangaroos. These possums look quite healthy. Feeding wild possums is not recommended, and it's not something that we would regularly do.
And here's Nathaniel, our other son, chopping up our firewood. So we've had a lot of trouble with the animals eating our plants that we've been trying to grow, especially during winter where they haven't fared the best chances anyway. But we've noticed that they haven't touched the rosemary, and I've been reading that kangaroos don't like the smell of herbs that are really powerful smelling and tasting. So we decided to grab some lavender because I wanted to grow some fields of lavender anyway, because apparently the kangaroos don't like lavender because of its strong flavour and aroma. So we're putting these little lavender plants into the pots, and hopefully they will survive over the next few months as well. Only time will tell, but fingers crossed. We grabbed some English lavender, which is not native to England actually, but to the Mediterranean. And it's ideal for garden borders, cooking, and this lavender actually produces the best essential oils. It's delightfully fragrant when brushed against or crushed, and it's celebrated for the wispy flowers that adorn the tip of each upright stem, creating lovely drifts of cool colours that sway in the summer breeze. They usually flower in early to mid-summer and last from 3 to 4 weeks. They usually bloom once but may experience a weak second flush after pruning. You can get 3 different colours on them these days: blue purple, lavender, violet blue or white pink. Lavender is drought tolerant and rabbit resistant. It's also a magnet for bees and butterflies, and it can also be propagated by stem cuttings taken in summer, clump division or seeds. My understanding is that it appreciates a good pruning after the flowers have bloomed. So hopefully the kangaroos don't get these ones.
This is one of the giant spiders that the boys found when they were cutting up some firewood.
And we seem to have wildflowers in every single colour of the rainbow. Orange and yellow and purple. I have no idea what these flowers are or if they're native. These purple wildflowers that actually look a lot like miniature snapdragons actually remind me a lot of my Nana's garden. My Nana is in her 90s and she hasn't been so well lately. And I reckon my Nana would have loved to seen our property.
All of my grandparents had farms out in the country, at least at one point or another. So I spent a lot of my childhood out in the country on farms. I think you learn a lot of skills from your parents and grandparents from having that kind of experience. Paul has been teaching the boys how to use tools and machinery out here. And even though our boys don't appreciate it now, hopefully they will when they get older. I know that my experience of growing up in a country town basically gave me an appreciation for the land and a connection to nature. I felt very free-spirited growing up in a country town, and I went barefoot wherever I went. I think growing up on a farm also means that you need to be selfless and think about caring for other people. There's a kind of harmony in everything that we do between us and Mother Earth. So our native oregano has lost quite a few leaves, but it's pulled through winter, which is a good thing. Our friends Diane and Warwick arrived at Chimney Creek Farm.
Cheers. Thank you for visiting us.
Our workshops that have been for a while.
We took Diane and Warwick for a drive around our property, and we took them up the top of the hill where we want to build our house one day, hopefully. We have such an amazing view up here, but probably many years of hard work before we can get to that point. We tried to point out and recognise some of the landmarks and buildings around in our view, but it was pretty hard to work out what was what. We could pretty much see Warwick and Diane's place from here, probably. And we had a lovely evening sharing a few glasses of wine around the campfire. It's nice to have neighbours with such good hearts close by. Brushtail possums eat mostly just fruit and veggies, but they have been known to eat small mammals such as rats, which is quite good for us to keep our possum friendly. And you can't actually move possums out of their home radius because they won't survive. So you have to actually go through a special process of trying to move a possum on. Possums have very sharp claws and a strong grasp, so you need to be really careful. The female brushtail possum also has a little pouch that she has at the front that she can keep her joeys in, like a kangaroo. In Australia, brushtail possums are threatened by humans, quolls, dogs, foxes, cats, goannas, carpet snakes, and powerful owls. And their populations are decreasing in Australia. Brushtail possums can be considered a bit of a pest. They are likely to cause damage to different plants and fruit trees and things like that, so you need to actually protect your plants and fruit trees if you're living with a possum in your area. Brushtail possums are actually a protected species in Australia now. She's heading back home now. And there she goes back into her little log hollow. And time for us to get inside and cozy and warm as well.
enjoyed watching this video. It does help our channel if you subscribe, thumbs up, share and comment on our videos. That would really be appreciated. Thank you so much for following us on our off-grid journey. We really do appreciate it. And chat to you next time.